Senator Paul Gavan.
Margaret Cahillock, Minister, you're very welcome. Minister, earlier this year, a briefing paper was produced on unemployment black spots in the state. The CSO defined an unemployment black spot as an electoral division whose labour force exceeded 200 persons and where the unemployment rate exceeded 27%. The results from this paper tell a shocking story of political failure to address issues of social inequality in Limerick going back 20 years. Indeed, it's the front page story in this morning's Limerick Leader. We know that for many years unemployment has been systemic in certain parts of Limerick, but what this report highlights is how this situation has gotten steadily worse, even as the country as a whole enjoyed a return to economic growth. Indeed, if you didn't know better, you would think that this was research exclusively on Limerick as opposed to a statewide report. In 2002, Limerick City did not appear in the top 10 worst unemployment black spots in the state, but by 2006 it accounted for 4 out of the top 10 areas. It worsened to a shocking 7 areas out of the top 10 by 2011. This latest report shows that Limerick had 8 out of the 10 areas with the highest unemployment rates in the state as of April 2016. I think it's important to put these areas on the record of the House, and they are as follows. Johns A, 58% unemployment. Galvone, 45% unemployment. Ballinanty, 43.6% unemployment. Abbey C, 42% unemployment. Prospect, 41% unemployment. Glentworth, 40% unemployment. St Lawrence's, 40% unemployment. And Killeely, 39% unemployment. Minister, these figures are a damning indictment of the political establishment and their disregard for people living in working-class estates across Limerick City. It's especially damning in respect to the long-standing public representatives, some of whom are still in office and one of whom was a Minister for Finance. These figures show that Limerick is the most socially divided city in the state. This is their legacy. Successive governments have known the issues of disadvantage in Limerick, but this most recent research highlights that things have been getting worse, not better, for whole sections of our community across Limerick's north and south sides of the city. So it's clear that unemployment black spots are growing in the city and have been for 20 years. Minister, something is seriously wrong, and this cannot continue. We need new policies in place to ensure intervention by the state to give people the future they and their children deserve in terms of education, job opportunities and careers. We need targeted investment across each of these 8 areas to tackle disadvantage and rebuild hope in these communities. We need to roll out new programmes of training, apprenticeships which can lead to real jobs within anchor institutions or those companies providing services to those institutions. In the state, we need to ensure there is balanced regional development. This has not been happening, and the regions are declining. Specifically to Limerick, we need to introduce the IDA to the north side of Limerick City. The IDA have rightly been lauded for successfully bringing foreign investment to Limerick, but they've never brought a project to the north side of the city where many of these areas are located. Community wealth building is a policy that encourages such community development, with much greater focus on local jobs and services. Sinn Féin are pushing this across the whole of Ireland, and it's a model that's proven very successful in other countries. These policies must be put in place to start job growth because Limerick deserves better. Limerick people deserve better and deserve better job opportunities to grow communities and to build back better after this pandemic. This report highlights a shocking level of disadvantage and inequality in Limerick City. Minister, I look forward to your response.
Thank you, Minister.
Thank you, Senator, and I'm very pleased today to take this commencement notice on behalf of Minister Robert Troy. And I welcome the recent report on unemployment black spots by the Houses of the Oireachtas Library and Research Service. And this excellent piece of research does a great job, I think, at highlighting the concentrated nature of employment black spots. It's particularly worrying, as you say, to note that in 2016, 17 out of a total of 38 electoral districts in the city of Limerick were unemployment black spots. And moreover, that Limerick City also accounted for 8 out of the 10 electoral districts with the highest unemployment rates in the state. However, it's also worth noting in the report that between April 2017 and February 2021, the live register in Limerick decreased by 3,482, or 32.5%, which was better in fact, than the state average decline of 29.1%. But regional enterprise development and sustainable local job creation is a key policy priority of this government, and I note that you have mentioned that in your contribution, Senator, that is what we need to do, is to make sure that we have sustainable local job creation. And to this end, the Department of Enterprise is overseeing the development of a new regional enterprise plans to 2024, including for the Midwest. And these are bottom-up plans developed by regional stakeholders, including the local authorities, the enterprise agencies, the local enterprise offices, regional skills forum and education and training institutes in each region. And the Department of Enterprise, Trade and Employment's Regional Enterprise Development Fund has allocated over 117 million across 79 enterprise strengthening projects in every region since 2017. And the Midwest and Limerick has been very successful in attracting these funds, securing just over 15 million for 8 significant enterprise-focused projects for the region. And these funds are supporting significant collaborative and innovative regional projects that will provide a timely impetus to job creation in the Midwest. And regional development is also, Senator, at the heart, and you mentioned the IDA, at the heart of the IDA Ireland's new strategy, driving recovery and sustainable growth, which is under the region's pillar. That the IDA will take actions in collaboration with existing clients to drive transformation through innovation and upskilling, to develop clusters and to work with clients and stakeholders to facilitate remote working opportunities. There are 143 IDA client companies in the Midwest region that employ about 24,169 people. And the FDI performance, foreign direct investment performance in the region has been consistent over the past 5 years, with employment among IDA clients increasing by 29%. And I'm confident that implementing these strong actions will continue to drive down unemployment in Limerick. I think the Midwest has a significant ecosystem of well-established companies, senators, across technology and life sciences and international financial services and engineering and industrial technologies. And it's also won a significant investment in the food and the film subsectors. And I think particularly around COVID, we've seen the advantages that some regions have had in relation to remote working. And I know that this is something that is being looked at as well in Limerick. And we've seen it in the West. For example, IDA Ireland had a client, Shopify, which has built a team of over 400 people working remotely in the West of Ireland since 2015, and it continues to grow there. So I think that the IDA will ensure that both Ireland and FDI firms can benefit from the changed landscape by making Ireland a better place to work remotely, and by remaining agile in their approach to companies' changing needs in the particular region of Limerick.
Minister. Senator.
Thank you, Minister. You've rightly mentioned many success stories around Limerick, and I think we need to acknowledge that. And the IDA has actually done a good job around a lot of Limerick, but they haven't done anything for the north side of the city. It's a glaring failure in an otherwise good record of success across the Midwest. You've mentioned a number of positive initiatives, and I have to say, with respect, we've kind of heard this stuff before, Minister, and these more of the same policies aren't going to change what's wrong in Limerick City in terms of the chronic unemployment and the chronic disadvantage that has become entrenched in many parts of our city. And what I would ask you to do is to go back to your government with a message that policies need to change, and specifically we need to embrace community wealth building as a policy. That's where we align our anchor institutions in Limerick. That would be the University of Limerick, University Hospital Limerick, Limerick City and County Council, and ensure that they do business differently to benefit local businesses, to encourage the development of cooperatives, to encourage policies of living wage through their procurement policies. This is the way to change our city for the better. More of the same simply will not work.
Sure, and I can hear what you're saying. I know Limerick well. My own grandfather originated from Limerick. It's a fantastic city. It's a fantastic region. And I hear what you're saying around the north side of Limerick, and I will bring that back, obviously, to Minister Troy. And I also was struck by what you said around the particular black spots and the unemployment areas ranging from 58%, I think you said, to 39%, which are quite stark figures and something that we need to tackle. And I know that the IDA, and you've acknowledged that, do considerable good work in the area, and there is a lot of good work being done, but that targeted investment that you're talking about particularly has to be ramped up, I think, for these regions and the areas within the region that are suffering more than anything else. And that community outreach, I think, is integral to that, and collaborating and from a grassroots level up to motivate as well across a sort of a multi-pronged approach to get people back into the working environment. And we think back to the recession when we had 15% unemployment across the country, and then we managed to bring that back down again. And so it is something that we can do again, I think, in the Limerick region. Come on, good.
Minister.